Working to earn a living. Learning objectives. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all? Our lesson today is about the importance of working to earn a living. Let's get started. Did you know that Allah and His Messenger Muhammad, peace be upon him, loved people who work to earn their living and refrain from asking for it from others? Work is a great act of worship. It is a jihad for the sake of Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty rewards people who work with the best reward. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "No food is better to man than which he earns through his manual work." Dawood, peace be upon him, the Prophet of Allah, ate only out of his earnings from his manual work. This noble hadith, my children, guides us the fact that the best income is a person's earnings from his hard work and honest effort. The prophets of Allah Almighty, peace be upon them, earned their livelihood from their own work. Each of them had a job and a profession. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, worked in trade. The Prophet Dawood was a blacksmith. The companions, may Allah be pleased with them, were people of various professions and crafts, including tailoring and blacksmithing. Some companions were also weavers and carpenters, and some companions were farmers or merchants. The two great companions, Abd al-Rahman bin Auf and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with them, worked in trade. Al-Zubair bin al-Awwam, may Allah be pleased with them, worked as a tailor. Now, my dear students, who knows the evidence from the Holy Quran that indicates a command from Allah Almighty to humans to seek livelihood? Wonderful. The evidence is Allah Almighty's noble verse, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He is the one who smoothed out the earth for you, so move about it in its regions and eat from His provisions, and to Him is the resurrection of all. The meaning of the noble verse was, my beloved students, is that Allah Almighty created the earth and paving the way for creatures to walk on it, seek livelihood, and build communities. You should know, my beloved students, that rational people, by nature, elevate themselves above being a burden to anyone by asking for food and drink without work or effort in return. In the Holy Quran, Allah Almighty says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and that each person will only have what they endeavored towards, and that the outcome of their endeavors will be seen in their record. Then they will be fully rewarded. Work, my friends, does not contradict worship. Work stimulates the society, because each job plays a role in ensuring that everything people need is provided. Work also maintains the production cycle. Allah Almighty commanded the believers to go to prayer, especially Friday prayer. They leave work at those times, then they return to work after finishing the prayer. You should know, my beloved students, that rational people, by nature, elevate themselves above being a burden to anyone by asking for food and drink without work or effort in return. Work, my friends, does not contradict worship. Work stimulates the society, because each job plays a role in ensuring that everything people need is provided. Work also maintains the production cycle. Allah Almighty commanded the believers to go to prayer, especially Friday prayer. They leave work at those times, then they return to work after finishing the prayer. This is because worship, especially prayer, is a connection between us and Allah Almighty. It is what helps a person to live and endure life's hardships. So, my dears, Allah Almighty encourages working hard. Allah Almighty said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, O believers, when the call to prayer is made on Friday, then proceed diligently to the remembrance of Allah and leave off your business. This is best for you. If only you knew. Once the prayer is over, disperse throughout the land and seek the bounty of Allah, and remember Allah often so you may be successful. When they saw the fanfare along with the carbine, they almost all flocked to it, leaving you, O Prophet, standing on the pulpit, say, what is with Allah is far better than amusement and merchandise, and Allah is the best provider. So, my dears, Allah Almighty encourages work and hard. Allah Almighty said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, tell them, O Prophet, do as you will, your deeds will be observed by Allah, His Messenger, and the believers. Let's summarize what we have learned today. Allah Almighty loves Muslims who earn His livelihood through His hard work and effort. He loves Muslim, doesn't prefer to seek money and food from people without a legitimate reason, and despite his ability to seek a livelihood for himself. We also learn that the prophets, peace be upon them, earned their livelihood from the work of their hands, as did the companions. May Allah be pleased with them. Next, we learned verses from the Quran that showed that seeking livelihood is among the things that Allah Almighty has commanded. Humans' efforts will be held accountable on the day of resurrection. We have also learned that worship takes precedence over seeking livelihood. The Muslim who asks for livelihood from Allah must leave the work for a few minutes if the time for prayer comes. Then he can return. This is so that he may attain the love of Allah Almighty and obtain abundance and success in his livelihood. That, my friends, marks the end of today's lesson. See you soon in another lesson.